Welcome to the Info 204 virtual tour. Please feel free to wander about the space or to follow the arrows on the ground from where it says start for a guided tour. Use your keyboard. W walks forward, D goes to the right, A goes to the left, and S goes backwards. All images and videos link to their original sources. Academic references are linked to spinning leather-bound books and cited in the references document, linked here and at the end of the tour. Look for the white orb with audio controls in front of each station and press play. Collect all 19. Or visit the recorded tour on YouTube, linked in the references document. I hope you enjoy this overview of Info 204 and the major skills and abilities that librarians possess. Humans have kept libraries for thousands of years, but their purpose has changed over time. When books and maps were copied by hand and it was common for a single copy of a work to exist in the entire world, libraries were repositories of knowledge whose use was limited to a few educated elites. In some ways, the view of what a library is today is still shaped by this history, leading some to believe that the library isn't for them. Libraries have undergone a sea change over the past several decades, and the pace of their evolution is only increasing. Libraries now serve as community centers striving to meet a plethora of diverse user needs. In a world with almost limitless information that's more accessible to more people than it ever has been, the library seeks to help people learn how to access accurate information efficiently and make sense of the world and its expanding technologies. This class, Info 204 at the SJSU iSchool, has been an excellent overview of the fundamentals of librarianship and information sciences, and I honestly love our textbook, Information Services Today, edited by Sandra Hirsch. Most of this virtual frame I've made and my understanding of a librarian's evolving role owes a debt to this book. Our class began with a discussion of strategic planning for information organizations. I loved my group and found our work creating a strategic plan for the Portland Community College to be extremely eye-opening. This SWOT analysis in particular is a great way to start thinking about how to grow and improve a library or any other organization. User experience has to be at the forefront of running any successful information organization. Jacob Nielsen, who's an expert in web usability, makes an important point that no matter how enlightened we may feel our perspective is, what matters ultimately is how the user of a library or an online catalog feels about it. And since libraries serve a vast array of different users with different information needs, the design and management of the library must serve all those needs. User and usability research is crucial.
You are not the users. You are not the users. You are not the user.
Librarians work in many different settings and also collaborate with colleagues across these settings. Public librarians reach out to K-12 school librarians to provide resources and introduce students to this lifelong learning center. Academic libraries, apart from the myriad services they provide to the colleges and universities that house them, can also work with special libraries to exchange domain-specific information. Special libraries include medical and legal libraries, but any organization that relies on information might have one. I received a lovely newsletter recently about the Oregon Symphony's special music librarian. What a lovely job. Careful management of the library's resources is so important that it gets 3 screens. The library budget is perhaps most critical, as every library needs money first before it can have employees, collections, tech, or facilities. Librarians must locate sources of funding and effectively manage the budget to make sure nothing is wasted on things the library's users aren't using. As for HR, the strength of any organization is in its employees. Let's ask Riva, the Chat4-based AI whom I trained as a library HR specialist, what she thinks. Riva, why is it so important to find and retain high-quality employees in a library? Wait a moment to read her answer. So cool. Library collections have expanded from stacks of books and reference materials to include all kinds of technology that users can check out and learn how to use, such as laptops, tablets, webcams, recording equipment, virtual meeting rooms, and more. Many libraries are also now offering a wide range of tool libraries, which include hand and power tools, kitchen gadgets, sewing machines, many other items that users might only need for a specific project or may be cost prohibitive to own. Library users want to come to a library that is clean, safe, and inviting. The image here is from the new Holgate branch of the Multnomah County Library, which opened 10 blocks from my house this summer. It's beautiful and spacious and a joy to visit and work from. Facilities management also includes paying attention to the library's website and online presence to make sure that those too are useful and pleasant for users. All facilities need to be designed or retrofitted with the varying abilities of users in mind, in accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and to be welcoming to all. Now, I know LeVar Burton of Reading Rainbow fame isn't a librarian, but he's a great example of someone who has shown true leadership in the field of literacy. Leaders can be skilled library managers, but they are more than that. They define the meaning and message of the library and position it within society as the crucial community meeting place and resource that it is. And they rally employees and volunteers around the cause of an informed and civil citizenry.
Now where books are being banned, libraries are closing, and now this documentary is coming out, during this time. What do you make of it?
I think that's that it's a good antidote to the bullshit that we are experiencing right now. It's a good antidote.
Advocacy is all about standing up for the library so that it can serve its users in the ways that it needs. It can include fundraising and grant writing, speaking at meetings of the library's funding body, and advocating for ballot measures and referenda that allow the public to vote for library funding. It also includes attending library board meetings, meetings with principals and department heads, and other leaders to present research on what the public uses the library for and what the library needs to be able to provide it. One of the library's most important callings is to defend the right of individuals to choose to see whatever information they wish. Intellectual freedom means that while an individual may dislike or be offended by a work, they can only choose not to read it themselves. They can't impose that viewpoint on anyone else, not even their own teenagers who have the same right to information as adults. Libraries do have procedures for challenging books, and those procedures must be based on the principle of information freedom. Libraries can also be a big part of the conversation around controversial materials, helping people to place them in context and understand their value. Libraries also have a role in fighting against disinformation and misinformation through literacy education and advocacy. One of the most exciting things about a library is that it allows users to be exposed to a diverse range of voices from all backgrounds. Librarians seek to fill their collections with authors of every race, nationality, gender, orientation, socioeconomic background, language, immigration status, level of ability, and viewpoint. This is not only the right thing to do, it makes for a beautiful and interesting collection. I'm personally very invested in linguistic diversity and providing resources and services in every language possible. This is another area of great promise for AI translation, which is by no means perfect, but is improving all the time. This site, for example, has a chat feature that automatically translates other participants' texts into the language of your choice. A library can have the greatest collections and services in the world, and it won't do any good if nobody knows about it. Here we have Dee the AI, whom I've trained as an outreach specialist who can go out into the community and let students, seniors, members of community organizations, companies, and other groups know what the library can offer them. Try asking Dee what services the library can offer to high school students. One of the main functions of outreach, too, is that librarians can learn from the public what library users need and want in their library. Feel free to take the poll here. Technology has changed libraries fundamentally, and it's not all just user-facing technology like laptops and audiobook apps. The Library of Congress has kept the most complete catalog of library metadata, called MARC, and is moving to the BibFrame system, which uses linked data, more in line with what people see on a web browser. Advances in integrated library systems may make our current online cataloging systems look as outdated as card catalogs, which aren't even that old since I remember using them. Okay, don't click anything yet. This is a 360-degree photo of my book room. Once you click, you'll be transported inside, and to get back out, click Close Sphere on the bottom toolbar. I was really struck by the idea of the hyperlinked library, and one of my goals this summer was to play with VR with the eventual goal of turning my beloved book room into a VR world that will exist on the internet forever, even when the physical book room ceases to exist. Now imagine how cool it would be for the entire VR book room, or your public library, to be linkable. The books would pull up Goodreads and a link to Powell's books to purchase. The various artifacts would link to stories I've written about. Librarians have to be on the forefront of technology so they can explain it to users. And also, this is one of the most fun parts of the job to me. ABE, baby, always be evaluating. One of the boons of the information and technology boom has been that generating tons of data is easier than it's ever been, and there are a lot of tools to analyze that data as well. This helps any organization to see what programs, services, and products are driving user interest, which ones aren't generating as much use, and why. With this information, an organization can make choices that allow for efficiency and innovation. So why have I learned all this? Why am I adding grad school onto full-time teaching to pursue my MLIS? What job will I have when I'm no longer a teacher? My partner calls me Yo Teach. It's pretty integral to who I am. But I'm ready for a new challenge. I adore playing with new tech. That's why I made this VR presentation. Perhaps I'll design online classrooms someday. I had an incredible meeting with Kim Doherty, the iSchool career advisor. The takeaway is that I'll likely have many jobs within the information sector, and there's a lot out there that's not specifically in a library setting. I need to network, something I was afraid of 20 years ago as I began my career, but now I understand is kind of a fun break for people who enjoy mentoring people who are new in their field. I'm going to conduct a lot of informational interviews with people whose jobs sound amazing. I'm so excited to be starting this new chapter in my life, and I appreciate the iSchool for helping me do it. Thank you for checking out this VR tour of Info 204. Go check out framevr.io if you want to play with VR yourself. Thank you.